Relationships can be tricky, and many men unknowingly fall into patterns that create tension, misunderstanding, and imbalance. Whether you're struggling with constant conflict, feeling disconnected, or unsure how to maintain a healthy dynamic, these challenges often stem from avoidable mistakes. Many men overlook key principles that can prevent these common pitfalls, leading to frustration and emotional exhaustion in their relationships. Today, we're going to talk about the 9 most common mistakes men make in their relationships with women. Mistakes that not only harm the relationship, but also take a toll on your well-being. By recognizing these errors, you'll gain a better understanding of how to protect your emotional health, maintain your individuality, and build a stronger, more balanced partnership. This isn't just about improving your relationship, it's about understanding yourself and navigating the complex emotions that often arise in romantic connections. If you find this topic helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more insights on Stoic wisdom and how it can improve all areas of your life. Let's dive into the 9 mistakes that smart men should avoid for a fulfilling, peaceful relationship. Mistake 1. Losing your identity. The first mistake that many men make in relationships is losing their identity. In the desire to make their partner happy, they often compromise their values, interests, and goals. While it may seem like a way to create harmony, in the long run, it leads to dissatisfaction and resentment. Stoic philosophy teaches us one of the most essential principles, knowing who you are. The Stoics believe that self-awareness is key to a fulfilling life. If you spend your time constantly adjusting yourself to fit someone else's expectations, you're not living according to your values, and this is where internal conflict begins. In a strong, healthy relationship, both partners should grow individually while supporting each other. When you give up your path to follow someone else's, you not only weaken your sense of self, but also place unfair pressure on the relationship. It becomes a relationship built on sacrifice and conformity, rather than mutual respect and balance. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, emphasized that true contentment comes from within, not from external approval. In his Meditations, Aurelius writes that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When you sacrifice your individuality, you risk the quality of your internal life. It's important to remember that being in a relationship doesn't mean you have to lose yourself in it. Instead, aim to maintain a strong sense of who you are, your values, your passions, your goals. This is not only crucial for your well-being, but also for the health of the relationship. When both partners retain their individuality, they bring more to the table, more experiences, more growth, and more authenticity. The Stoics were all about balance and harmony in life. And the same applies to relationships. The Stoic approach to relationships is about maintaining inner peace and being true to yourself. Don't mold yourself to fit someone else's world. Instead, grow together while staying rooted in your own identity. This balance is the key to building a long-lasting, fulfilling partnership. Mistake 2. Avoiding honest communication. Avoiding difficult conversations is another common mistake that can undermine the foundation of a relationship. Many people fear conflict, thinking that avoiding certain topics will keep the peace. However, in Stoic philosophy, one of the central teachings is the courage to face challenges head-on with both clarity and honesty. The Stoics believe that avoiding discomfort leads to a lack of growth, both personally and within relationships. Stoicism teaches us that if something is bothering you, it's essential to address it with courage, not avoidance. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in Meditations that waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. In relationships, this translates to being forthright, expressing yourself authentically, and not shying away from tough conversations. Whether it's a disagreement, unmet needs, or concerns about the relationship, open and honest communication is vital to a relationship's health. Many men fall into the trap of thinking that silence equals harmony, but in reality, avoiding these difficult topics only builds resentment over time. By holding back, you not only deny your partner the opportunity to understand your perspective, but you also rob yourself of the chance to grow emotionally. In Stoic terms, it's about having the wisdom and self-control to speak when necessary and the courage to face the discomfort that may follow. Honest communication doesn't mean being confrontational or harsh. The Stoic approach to communication is one of respect, clarity, and reason. Seneca said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay," which reminds us to approach sensitive topics calmly and thoughtfully. When you communicate honestly but with respect, you create space for mutual understanding rather than pushing your partner away. Stoicism is not just about emotional control. It's about engaging with life and relationships with intentionality. Difficult conversations are part of that engagement. They allow both partners to understand each other better and create a stronger connection built on trust and transparency. If you're honest and direct in your communication, you're practicing Stoic virtues in their purest form: courage, wisdom, and respect. Avoiding these conversations may seem easier at the moment, but in the long run, it only leads to emotional distance. Take a Stoic approach by confronting challenges with openness, honesty, and grace. This is how you build a relationship that's not only peaceful, but truly resilient. Mistake 3. Seeking validation from your partner. One of the most common mistakes men make in relationships is seeking constant validation from their partner. Many men fall into this trap without even realizing it, craving approval to feel worthy or good enough. This need for validation creates a dependency that weakens emotional resilience and leads to a fragile sense of self. According to Stoic philosophy, true self-worth should come from within, not from external sources like a partner's approval. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, famously said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." This rings especially true in relationships where we might prioritize our partner's opinion over our self-understanding. The danger in this behavior is that it causes you to constantly shape your actions and decisions around what you believe will gain your partner's approval, rather than what aligns with your values and identity. Stoicism teaches us the importance of internal validation, building a strong sense of self that is independent of others' opinions. When you rely on external validation, particularly from your partner, you give them power over your emotions and sense of worth. This often leads to insecurity, anxiety, and a weakened foundation in both your personal life and your relationship. In contrast, the Stoic mindset encourages you to be confident in who you are. Know your values, recognize your worth, and remember that your partner should complement your life, not define it. Instead of seeking validation from your partner, work on building inner strength and self-awareness. Epictetus, another renowned Stoic philosopher, advised, "Man is disturbed not by things, but by the views he takes of them." This means that it's not what your partner says or thinks about you that defines you, but rather how you interpret and react to it. The more you focus on gaining approval, the more you let external factors control your emotions. A healthy relationship is built on mutual respect, where each person's sense of self remains intact. When you're emotionally independent and secure in who you are, you're able to contribute to the relationship in a more meaningful way. You become less reactive, more present, and more capable of dealing with challenges that arise. In Stoicism, it's not about becoming emotionally detached, but rather building emotional resilience so that you can engage with the world and your relationship without losing your sense of self. Remember, you don't need anyone's approval to validate your worth. By embracing the Stoic mindset, you free yourself from the need for external validation and instead cultivate a stronger, more fulfilling relationship, one built on mutual growth, rather than dependency. Mistake 4. Allowing emotional reactions to take control. One of the most common mistakes in relationships is allowing emotions to control your reactions. We've all been there. An argument starts, emotions flare, and before you know it, things are said in anger that you later regret. This is a recipe for chaos in any relationship. Stoic philosophy teaches us that emotional control is key to maintaining harmony, not just in relationships, but in life. In Stoicism, there's a strong emphasis on mastering your emotions and learning to respond rather than react. Epictetus, a famous Stoic philosopher, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In relationships, this couldn't be more relevant. When you allow emotions like anger, frustration, or jealousy to dictate your reactions, you lose control of the situation and yourself. Instead of resolving the issue, you end up escalating it. The Stoic approach teaches us the importance of pausing, reflecting, and then responding with calmness and reason. When you find yourself getting upset or overwhelmed, it's crucial to take a moment to breathe. This pause is where the real strength lies. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." In the heat of the moment, your emotional impulse may urge you to lash out, but if you can step back and breathe, you can approach the situation with clarity and control. When you choose to respond calmly rather than react emotionally, you create space for understanding and resolution. In relationships, this practice fosters trust and respect because your partner will see that you're able to handle challenges maturely and thoughtfully. Stoicism teaches us that emotions are natural, but how we manage them defines our character. Allowing emotions to dominate your reactions only leads to regret, confusion, and often damage to the relationship. Furthermore, controlling emotional reactions isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about acknowledging them, understanding them, and then deciding how to respond in a way that aligns with your values. This self-awareness is a core Stoic principle. By practicing emotional resilience, you not only strengthen your relationship, but also grow as an individual. Remember, the goal isn't to avoid emotions, but to master them. In the end, true strength is found in those moments of stillness, when instead of reacting with anger, you choose to respond with calm. It's in this space that relationships thrive, and you maintain your sense of self. The Stoic mindset encourages you to be the calm within the storm, allowing you to navigate emotional conflicts with grace and wisdom. Master your reactions, and you'll not only build stronger relationships, but also a more peaceful inner life. Mistake 5. Neglecting personal growth. Neglecting personal growth is one of the most overlooked mistakes men make in relationships. It's easy to get so caught up in making a relationship work that you lose sight of your ambitions, goals, and well-being. However, Stoic philosophy reminds us that personal growth is essential, not only for ourselves, but for the success of any relationship. The Stoics believe that life is a continuous journey of self-improvement, and that journey should not stop just because you're in a relationship. In Stoic philosophy, personal growth is seen as a lifelong pursuit. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This applies directly to relationships. You cannot control what happens around you, but you can control your inner development. When you focus on your personal growth, whether it's improving your skills, gaining knowledge, or enhancing your physical and emotional well-being, you become a stronger, more balanced partner. A relationship flourishes when both individuals are growing and evolving, not when one person sacrifices their progress for the sake of the other. One of the key principles in Stoicism is the idea of arete, or striving for excellence. In a relationship, it's easy to lose sight of this principle and become stagnant, especially when you start prioritizing the partnership over your personal goals. But remember, a flourishing relationship consists of two individuals who are both striving for personal excellence. You are not just a partner, you are still an individual with your path to follow. When you neglect that path, you not only lose a part of yourself, but also undermine the potential for growth within the relationship. Stoicism teaches us to take responsibility for our personal development. Epictetus famously said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This means that even while you're in a relationship, you should continue setting personal goals and working toward them. Whether it's advancing your career, improving your health, or learning new skills, personal growth is essential to maintaining balance in your life. It also brings more to the relationship. When both partners are growing, they have more to offer each other, and the relationship becomes more dynamic and fulfilling. Your journey of self-growth does not stop when you enter a relationship. A healthy partnership is built on the foundation of two individuals who are constantly evolving and bettering themselves. By embracing Stoic principles, you can ensure that your personal growth continues while also contributing positively to the relationship. Don't sacrifice your progress. Instead, let it fuel both your personal and relational success. Mistake 6. Relying on your partner for happiness. One of the biggest pitfalls in relationships is relying on your partner to make you happy. Many people unknowingly place this enormous responsibility on their partner, expecting them to be the sole source of their joy and fulfillment. But Stoic philosophy teaches us that true happiness, or eudaimonia, comes from within. It's a state of mind, cultivated through inner peace and self-awareness, not something that can be provided by external factors, including relationships. Stoicism emphasizes personal responsibility for your own emotions and well-being. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This means that if you're not content with yourself, no partner, no matter how perfect, can fill that void. Relying on someone else to create your happiness places unfair pressure on the relationship and leads to disappointment when your expectations aren't met. In a Stoic approach to relationships, your partner should complement your life, not complete it. You are two whole individuals, each responsible for your own happiness. Your partner can add joy, share experiences, and offer support, but they are not the foundation of your happiness. If you rely too heavily on them to provide your emotional stability, you risk creating an unhealthy dynamic where you become dependent, which can lead to frustration and dissatisfaction for both parties. Stoic teachings encourage us to cultivate inner contentment. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This applies directly to your emotional state. By taking ownership of your happiness, you free yourself from the emotional highs and lows that come with dependence on others. It's not that you don't enjoy your partner's company or the joy they bring to your life, but you recognize that the core of your happiness rests within you, not outside of you. Building this self-awareness and emotional resilience is key to both personal fulfillment and a healthy relationship. When you are responsible for your peace, you bring a balanced, stable energy to the relationship. You are not constantly seeking validation or emotional support to fill a void. Instead, you're sharing your happiness with your partner, which creates a more enriching and harmonious dynamic. Your partner can enhance your life, but they cannot be your sole source of happiness. The Stoic mindset encourages you to look inward, cultivate contentment within yourself, and take ownership of your emotions. By doing so, you create a relationship built on mutual growth and joy, rather than dependency. True peace and happiness come from within, and when you embrace this Stoic principle, you can experience deeper fulfillment in both your life and relationships. Mistake 7. Neglecting friendships and family. Neglecting your friendships and family relationships in favor of a romantic one is a mistake that many people make. It's easy to become so wrapped up in a relationship that you unintentionally distance yourself from the people who have been there all along, your friends and family. Yet, Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of balance in life. The Stoics believed that cultivating meaningful relationships beyond romance is essential for a fulfilling and well-rounded life. In Stoicism, the idea of oikeiosis, a concept that emphasizes our connection to others, is central to how we engage with the world. Our relationships with friends, family, and community help define us and contribute to our growth as individuals. While your romantic partner is undoubtedly important, it's essential not to sacrifice the relationships that have sustained you through other chapters of your life. Neglecting these relationships can create feelings of isolation, both for you and for those who care about you. Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic emperor, once said, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee." This means that we thrive when we are part of a network of supportive relationships. Your friends and family serve as your emotional and mental support system, providing perspective, wisdom, and stability. If you neglect them, you cut off an essential source of strength. It's important to remember that nurturing these relationships doesn't take away from your romantic one. It strengthens you, making you a better partner. Often, in the rush of a new or intense relationship, people push their friends and family aside, thinking they don't need them as much. But the truth is, a balanced life requires maintaining all of your important connections. Stoicism encourages us to value the relationships that help us grow, not just the romantic ones, because they are all vital to our well-being. Epictetus taught that we should appreciate the people in our lives and not take them for granted. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. When you surround yourself with the right people, friends, family, and a partner, you are truly wealthy. In the context of Stoic philosophy, it's about ensuring that you're cultivating relationships that help you grow, not just focusing on one aspect of your social life. Your romantic partner can be part of that growth, but they should not be the only source of your emotional and social fulfillment. By maintaining close bonds with friends and family, you create a more balanced, enriching life that supports you in all areas. So, don't make the mistake of neglecting the people who have always been there for you. A well-balanced life means valuing and nurturing all the important connections in your world, not just the romantic ones. This is where true emotional resilience and happiness lie, and it's a key principle in living a stoic, fulfilling life. Mistake 8. Obsessive attachment. Obsessive attachment in relationships is a significant red flag and a mistake that can lead to a loss of identity and emotional imbalance. In Stoic philosophy, one of the central teachings is the importance of detachment from external things. This includes not only material possessions, but also relationships. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in Meditations, receive without pride, let go without attachment. When we become overly attached to someone, we place our emotional well-being entirely in their hands, and that's a dangerous place to be. Stoicism teaches us that true contentment comes from within, not from external sources, and certainly not from being dependent on a partner for your sense of self-worth. When you make someone else the center of your emotional universe, you lose touch with your own identity and start sacrificing your personal growth. Obsessive attachment often leads to controlling behaviors, jealousy, and emotional turbulence, all of which can suffocate a relationship. The Stoic mindset encourages balance, freedom, and self-sufficiency in relationships. A healthy relationship is built on trust, mutual respect, and a shared sense of autonomy. The more you try to hold on tightly to someone, the more you push them away. Marcus Aurelius wisely advised us to maintain an attitude of flexibility and openness, to live in harmony with others without becoming overly attached. When you cling to someone too tightly, you not only lose your sense of self, but also put unnecessary pressure on the relationship. Epictetus, another great Stoic thinker, said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do." This applies to relationships as well. Allow your partner to be themselves, to grow, and to have their own space. Obsessive attachment limits both you and your partner, stifling individuality and personal freedom. In contrast, a Stoic approach to relationships encourages giving your partner the space to breathe, to be themselves, and to thrive independently. A key aspect of Stoic philosophy is understanding that you cannot control external circumstances or other people. What you can control is your reaction to them. By practicing emotional self-control and letting go of obsessive attachment, you free both yourself and your partner from the emotional burden of dependency. This creates a relationship built on solid ground, trust, freedom, and mutual respect, where both partners feel secure in themselves and their connection. Mistake 9. Disregarding boundaries. Disregarding boundaries is one of the most damaging mistakes you can make in a relationship, and it's something that can quickly lead to resentment, frustration, and conflict. In Stoic philosophy, respecting boundaries, both your own and others, is essential for maintaining inner peace and harmony in relationships. Stoic wisdom teaches us to recognize and honor limits as part of living in alignment with nature, and that includes the nature of healthy relationships. In relationships, boundaries are not barriers. They are guidelines that help both individuals feel safe, respected, and valued. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "We should love all beings, but only while respecting our reason." This means that while love and care are important, they should never come at the expense of self-respect, or the respect of others. When boundaries are disregarded, whether it's pushing someone to do something they're uncomfortable with or ignoring your own needs, you risk creating an imbalance that can damage trust and intimacy. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of living virtuously and by nature, and this includes respecting the natural limits that exist between individuals. Just as Stoics encourage self-discipline in managing your desires, they also teach that we must be mindful of the boundaries others set. In relationships, this requires honest communication and empathy, understanding when your partner expresses discomfort or when their personal space is being invaded. Disregarding these boundaries often stems from a lack of awareness or a desire to control situations, which runs counter to the Stoic belief in focusing only on what we can control, our actions and reactions. Setting and respecting boundaries doesn't mean distancing yourself emotionally. Instead, it fosters an environment where both partners feel secure and understood. When boundaries are respected, both people in the relationship are given the freedom to be their authentic selves without fear of judgment or overstepping. This mutual respect leads to stronger connections and trust, key elements in any Stoic practice of living harmoniously with others. Epictetus said, "Know, first, who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." This speaks to the importance of understanding your boundaries before you can truly respect those of others. When you know your limits and communicate them clearly, you set a foundation for a healthier, more balanced relationship. Boundaries also protect your sense of self and well-being, allowing you to give more genuinely to the relationship without feeling drained or resentful. So there you have it, the 9 mistakes men should avoid in their relationships with women. These are common pitfalls that can easily damage the balance in your relationship if left unchecked. Remember, the foundation of any good relationship is built on self-awareness, mutual respect, and emotional resilience. By incorporating these Stoic principles into your daily life, you can cultivate deeper, more meaningful connections that stand the test of time. The wisdom of Stoicism isn't just about maintaining calm. It's about understanding yourself and fostering healthier relationships through personal growth and emotional control. Thank you for joining us today on Stoic Narratives, where we explore the timeless teachings of Stoicism and how they can be applied to modern relationships and everyday life. If you found value in this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with others who could benefit from these insights. And don't forget to subscribe to Stoic Narratives for more practical Stoic wisdom on mastering emotions, building strong relationships, and leading a more balanced, peaceful life.